Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Jacob Pali and I am a student of Rehan School Green Campus. So today we have the very amazing guest whose name is Ma'am Danelle. So let's go and talk to her. So hello ma'am, how are you?
I am doing wonderful today. It's so very nice to be here with you. Thanks for having me on with you.
Okay, thank you so much. So please can you introduce yourself to my viewers?
Yeah, I'm Danelle Boyles. I'm in the United States, and I am a jack of all trades. I work in education. I'm a humanitarian, a writer, artist, mom, and I also work in quantum consciousness. Oh, I think we're having some technical difficulties. The screen is frozen. Can you hear me, dear? I don't know if we're still recording or going. Seems. Yeah. Are you having some technical difficulties, hon? Your screen keeps freezing up. I
Okay, thank
can't.
you so much for your answer and so
That's
so
okay.
my next question yes, so can you tell me little about what is consciousness?
Consciousness. Um, Consciousness is something that everyone carries within their interior thought process. And you can develop different ways to advance this by doing different practices. And it is a connection. We all function in multifaceted versions of ourselves in like almost layers, and that's how the consciousness operates. And so it's basically just the human growth of mindset and connectivity to be able to have a higher thought process, and it opens your consciousness into the only way to really explain it is like a quantum level, which is out into the open consciousness of like where everyone is connected with thoughts and idealization and information. Mm.
Amazing, ma'am. Yes, so my question is your screen.
Yes. How did I first become interested in quantum consciousness? It's all a process, and it begins with um, an interior need to know more about our existence. And it moves into what is called like the awakening process, which is typically there's a tipping point in a human experience that pushes you into wanting to expand your knowledge or pushes you into wanting to know more about the universal processes and how they happen. And it's basically the more you learn, the more you know, the more you push your mind. And for me, it was pretty much like a life experience that pushed me into a place that created the narrative that I needed to experience and know more.
Thank you so much for your answer. And another question from you. Can you explain how quantum consciousness coaching differs from traditional coaching methods?
Um, the way it differs is that with typical coaches, they will coach you on things like behaviors, mindset, goals and objectives, and things that you want to achieve, but they don't address the way to access yourself on a quantum level, which is literally taking your mindset into a level of yourself and implanting almost like an open idealization of what you want to project yourself as. And whenever you're working with quantum consciousness, you're visualizing and moving into that version of yourself that basically like exists in a future version of yourself. So it's almost like, for some it's hard to comprehend, but it's almost like time travel in your consciousness. You're moving into mentally a version of yourself, and you're coaching people how to do this on a quantum level. And you're basically anchoring yourself into the process of then creating a pathway to the version of yourself that you want to see. So regular coaches just coach on behaviors and surface level things. Quantum coaches coach on an expanded, like, I hate to use the same words over and over again as far as like consciousness and quantum, but you're coaching in like a much bigger picture of the grand scheme of things. Instead of just what's right here in front of you, you're projecting into like your future self.
Thank you so much for your answer, and it was a very amazing answer. Thank you so much. And so, my another question from you: can you tell me how do you incorporate scientific principles of quantum mechanism and into your coaching sessions?
Yeah, I have done personally so much conscious work as far as like emotionally and mentally, that it basically puts you into a very, very futuristic concept of yourself consciously. And so you have a connection to this like time and space that is very much future projection. And so by being able to observe the quantum physics and how like time space moves and operates, and how it takes an expanded mind. And I don't ever mean to like insult anybody, because I don't want to talk over anyone's intelligence, but it takes a very detailed understanding of how it all works to be able to incorporate it. And so it just becomes second nature whenever you use it in a session. But basically, um, it's all visualization, and almost like you utilize a hypnotherapy that takes the client's consciousness into a different time space. And basically, that's how it works. And you just incorporate the different metaphysical. It's a little bit of spiritual, but it's more of the scientific part of it than it is spiritual. Um, the spirituality part of it is what enables you to be able to connect on a human level and on an interhuman level. I mean, like, to be able to connect to everyone on a level that you see them as a person and who they have been, like in their past, present, future, and past life selves. Sorry, I know that might sound a little confusing, but I was trying to incorporate that answer the best that I can.
Okay, no problem. So, thank you so much for your amazing answer. And can you tell me what are some common challenges your clients face when working with quantum consciousness? How do you
Yeah,
help them overcome these?
yeah. Sorry, we have a bit of a delay. Didn't mean to talk over you. A lot of challenges that clients face whenever they're going through the different processes of moving into higher quantum consciousness is that it requires you to go through a lot of shadow self work. And that is where you are consciously removing and moving through different parts of yourself that don't regulate with who you want to be. Different belief systems, habits, things that cause depression or anxiety. All things that cause a heaviness in the human emotional experience. Whenever you are moving into a higher quantum consciousness, all of these things have to be worked through. And so whenever you're working in a session, we go through a process that we offload a lot of this in like large portions through a type of conscious energy work. And basically that's the biggest challenge, is the conscious effects that people experience as they're moving through the process.
Okay, thank you so much for your answer. And what impact do you hope to achieve through your work as a quantum consciousness coach?
Biggest goals and impacts is better human productivity, more awareness of, you know, what you want in life, how you see and experience life, how you want to impact others around you, and on a global level. It turns into more than just an I achievement, and it's how it can affect everything consciously on a very large scale. Main goal is to be able to see and function in a higher way of thinking, emotionally, intellectually, all across the board. It's all different aspects of emotional intelligence.
Thank you so much for your answer. And can you tell me what humanitarian causes are you most passionate about?
No, I have so many that are near and dear to me. I work with predominantly two organizations, but I'm involved with about five. And the main ones are the United Humanitarians Organization. And that is basically the organization speaks on and does conferences and summits and educational conferences on the global sustainable development goals, and then Glory Future Foundation, which is based in Bangladesh, and that one pretty much supports in Bangladesh. And so I'm a speaking advisor and an ambassador for both of those. The Glory Future Foundation, I also teach. And so I teach art and spoken word and international relations with not just students in Bangladesh, but then we have sister countries that we also school with. Every Saturday, I teach class every Saturday morning. And we work with other schools that are connected in Soviet Georgia, Africa. I think there's two other countries, but I can't remember which ones. And so it's those two are the most prominent, but I also work with another one called Kudos, and then the World Eye Club Global, where we do like master trainer courses and we do educational summits that are all free. Everything that I do and I work through and for is nonprofit. So it's very important to me, especially the youth, to make sure that they are supported and are aware that they have all of this mind space to be able to not just support themselves, but to grow into a person that then supports everything globally, because it spider webs. You know, when you start with one person, then it branches out. So youth is very important to me, supporting youth.
Okay, thank you so much for your answer. So, can you share a memorable experience from your humanitarian work that deeply impacted you?
Oh, there's so many. And I know there's going to be so many more because I want to work in person in the future. Um, an experience in general. I think probably one of my most favorite is whenever I hold art classes. And before we had access to more technology, we were basically teaching students on a tarp out in the middle of a field off of a cell phone. And whenever I held my first art class, and all of the students that were there was probably about 40 students, and they're all sitting out in, you know, the open air with their notebooks and pencils, and they're drawing, and they're following, you know, directions to do their art project, and they all hold their pictures up for me, and they all look so amazing, and they're so proud of themselves of what they were able to do. And I think that's probably one of my most favorite memories, is experiencing that with them and seeing, you know, how happy they were with themselves. I can't hear you. There's no sound. There's no sound, dear. Your audio is not audible. Oh, we seem to have lost her for a moment. I think we're still recording though. But we've lost her, or she lost her connection or something. I hate to carry on without her. Nope, I think she's coming back now.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can, yes. You have returned.
Yes, here is some net issue. So, my question from: how do you balance your humanitarian efforts with your other roles and responsibilities?
Mm, I get asked this question a lot, very carefully. I actually just had somebody mention this yesterday, and they said, "You seem to be very busy." And I am, and it takes a lot of just organization and effort to keep everything balanced. I use a calendar for everything on my phone, even if it's something as simple as a regular routine thing that I do, like on my calendar. I teach every Saturday morning, so I put teach Saturday morning 10 a.m. If I have plans for lunch, I put it on my calendar. But I say that whenever you're doing a lot of work that is to impact on a humanitarian level, you're working on divine timing. And what that means is everything happens when it is to happen and in the time that it is to happen. And so I'm never late. I'm always on time. Even if I think that I need to hurry, I don't need to hurry, that it's going to happen when it's to happen. So, I'd like to think it takes a lot of self-regulation and coordination, but really I just allow things to unfold as they're supposed to.
Okay, thank you so much for your answer. And what advice would you give to someone looking to get involved in humanitarian work?
Um, Start local, find an organization that is looking for help, for volunteers. For me, I kind of stumbled into what I do, and it started with poetry. I'm a writer, and I do a lot of international summits for refugees and different poetry related topics. And I started meeting other humanitarians. And so for me, it happened. I wasn't really looking for it. It found me. And I came to know teachers abroad and other writers. And then we just kind of snowballed into ideas. Be open-minded to different ways of helping. Be open-minded to knowing that you're going to see and experience things that you're not always going to be comfortable with. Because whenever you work in humanitarian work, you're shown firsthand just how uncomfortable life can be for others. So be open-minded to different experiences.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your answer. And how do you support others in their spiritual development while continuing your own growth?
Oh, it's a constant work in progress. I like to think of myself as pretty advanced consciously and spiritually, but you learn and grow every day. You're constantly in the process of releasing and gathering new, um, and being openly accepting that not everybody is on the same path, not everybody is in the same process, and not everyone is going to be on the same level of consciousness all over the place. Everyone is in different levels of learning, and supporting that, being open-minded to the fact that everyone is not on the same plateau. Unconditional love, unconditionally loving someone no matter what stage they're in their life and in their process. Our poor host is having some terrible technical difficulties today. Days like that are rough. I'm having a bad hair day today, so we're both having troubles.
Hello, can you hear
Yes,
me?
yes. I can. I can.
Okay, so thank you so much for sharing some insightful knowledge to me and to my viewers. And again, thank you so much. So also I invite you to my school when you come in Pakistan. So please visit our school, Rehan School, Karangi campus.
I do hope I do. I look forward to one day being able to come and visit in person very much. I adore your school and Rayhan qualities and values, and you all are doing a wonderful job. Thank you very much for having me on today. I really appreciate it.